Husey pulled one on me, the old bait and switch. When we were talking about doing this show together, he brought this show to me called Baptized Fire with Brother Martin.
Oh, my God.
And I said, okay, that sounds good. We'll do that. So I went ahead and listened to it and pulled a bunch of clips. And I said, all right, you ready to talk about the show? And you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to pull any clips from that. So do you want to give a little background on how you found this show or what you thought was interesting about it before I get into this?
My podcast is part of something called the Creative Control Network. Mm-hmm. And how that started was it was a guy called Joe Feeney who used to produce a lot of shows for pro wrestlers. And I love the old school pro wrestling and all that shit. And this guy, Chris Martin, was kind of part of that group of people who listened to these shows. As I got to know him and learn stuff about him, I genuinely hope that
Real quick, Joe, when are these pictures coming up?
The fig bath, I'll do it this weekend. And I'll go up on Patreon.
Make sure it's featured prominently on all platforms that we're...
Or you're going to be held in contempt of court.
I got
you. Yes.
What happens with contempt? Is it a worse sentence?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll get it done.
This time it'll be you and to get my...
It'll be the draw and quartering thing that we liked.
And to get my go guys all taking a fig bath together, which you probably would enjoy.
Have already done.
We need a big tub.
Mike Lovin is here. What is up, Big Mike, man? Good to see you out here. Mike, congrats. Yeah. He's got a new job, man. He's working a new job now. So congrats to Big Mike, brother. Too. We're always happy to see Big Mike out here. Mike even says, "Go Steelers, Chris." We miss you too, buddy. Yeah, the Steelers. Yes, they beat your Ravens tonight. Woo!
In your opinion, greatest movie of all time and why?
Goodfellas. It's the worst film ever made.
Oh, you know what? You're going back to the bottom right.
Is that an insult being on the bottom right?
Yes.
Is there a category? It's a
well, not that there's anything wrong with
that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a homosexual reference. Is that what it is?
No, but
first of all, no. Eddie Kingston is not underrated on the mic. He's well respected on the mic.
Eddie Kingston is perfectly rated.
Yeah.
How underrated was Nick Patrick? What a great performer he's doing. I mean, this is an incredible performance.
So underrated. I was dying to say that.
Here's your chance to make the cold open of a Get My Go. Tell everyone about Get My Go and what you enjoy about Get My Go.
Wangland. I didn't know who the goddamn guy was, but I hate him just as much as everybody else does now. And he's like the Marcel of wrestling. That's all I can say, man. He gets my fucking go, okay?
Oh, Philip. Oh, comments, Philip. Comments. Brian's not even here yet. Who is this? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, and please check out my favorite show on the YouTube is Get My Go.
Why are we subjected to Jacques Rougeau?
You know what? Because...
Your mic, Chris. Put your mic up.
Oh, because it's absolute talent.
So I'm just it all goes back.
So you hear him fidgeting with his microphone there at the end, too. I was watching a video of how he podcasts. He's just holding the microphone in his hand and bouncing it around as he's recording the podcast. Like, put it in a stand, dummy.
How many bong hits do you think Six took before he went out?
Hey, buddy, you might want to fix your mic. There's something off with it tonight. It just doesn't sound good.
Are we there?
Oh. Yeah, they're much better there.
Okay.
You're having all types of mic problems tonight.
I am. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right, man.
The weather's not the greatest outside, and
the weather outside is frightful.
Fuck yeah.
Do you want to do positives or negative first? You want to bury it first or put it over first? What do you want to do here?
Put it over. Actually, wait. Can you do a compliment sandwich?
It was a real life injury, or if it was something he was playing up where he would kind of use the cast as. I think he would use the cast.
Have you ever heard of a man called Conrad Thompson?
No.
Conrad Thompson, yeah, he's got like 6 or 7 shows. They're all massively successful. Chris Martin was so desperate for attention that he went on Twitter and faked having cancer so that Conrad would simply retweet him.
Really?
He's a little cunt. Instead of the Undertaker, he's the cancer faker.
If I had to go in like podcasters, and this is like my personal thing, would be number one. What's the guy that works with Vince Russo?
Jeff Lane.
Jeff Lane.
Right.
Number 2, Vince Russo. And number 3, what was that show that you always bury?
Wrestling. The Conspiracy Horsemen.
No, the show that Get My Go buries all the time.
Wrestling with Reality.
Put them in the top 3.
But I can understand that, like, everybody started a podcast as a hobby because it's just everybody needs like something else. But Wangland's been doing his one for nearly 4 years, and there's been zero growth. And if anything, it's devolved. Like, take that as a sign that it's not for you. And Wangland is he's a terrible podcaster.
He's awful. He's atrocious.
I mean, nobody's saying that he should be allowed to do it. If he wants to do a wrestling show, fine. But put it like this: if you went to a gym every week for 4 years and there was no change, you would think, this isn't working for me. I'm going to have to either change stuff up or stop doing this. That's what with Wangland's the guy who goes to the gym to maintain his beer gut.
But you want to start with the modern stuff tonight?
Oh, brother, we will start with the modern, and there's going to be 3 topics, 2 fairly sized topics, and then like 1 short one. 2 fairly sized topics.
You know, he would have been beloved, but he wouldn't have been who Paul is now.
He'd probably have a top podcast on somebody's platform doing exactly what Cornette does.
Yeah, well, exactly. Or even a radio show. A radio show.
Just like Rue's radio show.
Radio show.
The question is, would Paul Heyman be broadcasting it from his car?
How you doing tonight over there, Brother Martin? What's going on, man?
This audio displays how I feel right now.
What do you got?
Yes.
Woo! Man. Yes. Woo! When you say I'm coming down from cover. Man, you don't need a weekend longer. That's right. American males. God.
So yes.
That just pumps me up right here for the show tonight.
I just want to point out, Francine, so we're in a 4-way box here.
Four-way, yes.
I recreated one of the most famous scenes from Get My Go right here with this makeup that we have today. So if you were going to say which box Husey was in, what direction would you say he was? Is he the bottom left, or is he what? What's the other one?
He is right below me right now, so bottom right.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
Is that correct?
You are absolutely
as long as I'm
correct.
in one of Francine's boxes, plus
You're
you said
in my
below
box.
me.
You
I
are
win.
in.
Next is from Willie McGribber. Hello, Mr. Superior One. Your topic for last week's K100 Talks is an excellent choice. Your viewpoints really short up the topic. Your professionalism on your podcast is also a welcome change from others that interrupt halfway through to answer a call, yell at their wife, or even leave to let the dogs out. My question this week is about the charismatic alpha male Monty Brown.
You know what? Stop right there. For the fans that listen to other podcasts, if this ever happens on another podcast, please send that into the show so we can see it.
He's a little cunt who works at Real Mall. He's a Jesus freak. He's a motivational speaker. And his fucking ugly cunt wife is a fat bitch. And if I ever see her in person, I'm going to throw a sardine right in her mouth.
I bet you'd like that.
His wife's so fucking ugly as well. You will never find one photograph of her on either of his social medias where she's not filtered. She's a stinky pig. She's a dirty girl.
All right, so I see why you picked this podcast now. It sounds like you have some thoughts and feelings about it. Let's get into some clips, shall we?
Hey, John Wangland, I noticed the logo in the intro is crooked. Wow. Yes, Kevin. I'm sure it's totally crooked there. Gotcha, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. And it's L-U-N-D, not land. Okay. So throw that out there. I guess it's crooked, Chris. Uh-oh.
Does that get your go?
Oh, it's very upsetting to me.
It
but
does.
thank you for pointing it out, Mr. Powell. I appreciate that very much.
All right.
Very much
Anyways.
appreciate that. Let's move on now.
Hello and welcome to episode 60 of Get My Go. What's up, John Paz? We are here. We are continuing a long recording session. We're continuing from episode 59. Matt Wilson took the time to send us a bunch of classic clips from the old Wrestling with Reality show. So we're back in the beginning days of that. We just had a pretty good time. There were some big waves out there, and I'm here. We're here with Dean, of course, and he's been putting his time in. He did an excellent job last show, and I'm sure that all that good stuff's going to continue.
Thanks. Yeah. No, definitely.
You pressured me for, man.
Just back to your intro doing the John Paz. Mike, I forgot to mention that. Your John Paz at the start of, what was it? Was that 57?
Yeah.
When you did the John Paz intro? I wasn't watching the video at the time. I just had it in my ears. And I thought Paz was doing the intro. That was, as a person that does impersonations, I was like, you nailed it.
Hello and welcome to Get My Go. I love John Paz's tone. I love the tone of his voice, and I love it. He didn't do it on. He was on Keep It 100 intro yesterday. He didn't do his usual. He did a more straight up. Great voice though. Great broadcasting voice.
He even exaggerates it now just to pop you, I think.
Yeah.
Hello.
The Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's like, it's the Seinfeld with the belly button. Hello. Paz getting angry on, I think, particularly episode 58, where he really took offense. Like, I love Chad and Paz because of that, because they studied broadcasting, and I take offense to these guys as well because I've done a little bit of broadcasting myself. It's so offensive that these guys think that they can broadcast, and hearing John Paz get so annoyed by these guys, that was great to hear. Like, it was great to have Paz on.
Yeah, you don't hear angry Paz that often. He doesn't slip up.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna do 4 short clips that Matt submitted. They're separate from the one that we did last episode, but they're around the same time period, I think. So here we go.
By the way, does anybody fuck with
Okay. That's a great beginning already.
Keep talking. Hold on. Keep talking over that. That was great. Great background. Go ahead, Joe.
By the way, does anybody fuck with like the virtual reality gimmicks?
What's going on?
You know how PlayStation has PSVR?
Yeah, the VR goggles or whatever.
I have the Oculus. Does anybody play that?
No.
It's pretty good. There's a sweet golf game on there, and I just was curious. Anyway, that's the only gaming I'm doing at the moment. I don't know why I thought about it. Oh, the PlayStation.
Welcome to video game reviews with Joe Fang.
Oh, Joe, you're taking the show off course. Yeah. Go start that over so I can hear that soothing tone.
Yeah, that's great.
Karate Kid.
What's going on, everybody? You have John Wangland here. I just wanted to drop a quick note before you listen to this episode, just so you can understand some of the context of it before we get into it. So,
I just wanted to drop a quick deuce while I'm doing this episode.
God.
Listen to this audio, man. Come on.
In John's employment history, have we ever found that if you ever worked for UPS? Because I swear I hear forklifts rustling around in the background and freight being moved. What's going on?
The first part of this episode is Rob's response and my response to some of the awful, nasty, and completely out of line things that these masked goofs, the grapplers, have been sitting over there and spreading about him and other people, and just the nasty things that they've been saying. So when we tape this on Thursday, we were not going to use the footage if these guys stopped, first off, if they became respectful. And after we were supposed to do a show with Midnight Mike from the Great Midnight Jury Show, and Mike got sick, Mike had asked me, Rob, and the Grapplers to sit down and talk because he wanted to moderate it, wanted to talk about the whole thing, the beef that was going on this week with everything. And Rob didn't really want to do any part of this episode, to be honest with you, not because of Midnight Mike. Midnight Mike's a great guy. He didn't really want to just give these idiots.
Midnight Mike's a great guy, but yet if you go look in the comments of one of the recent episodes, John is just completely trashing Midnight Mike.
He's done that a lot. Yeah.
Gets any more attention. So Rob didn't want to do it. I said I didn't mind doing it because I really took offense to the way that they acted and treated Rob and just about all that stuff. So I always had a nice relationship with them before, and then just really been turned off by them recently, and even more so now with what they were doing with Rob and saying, and the way that they were acting towards me after I was respectfully trying to just end the whole thing. For whatever reason, these idiots wanted to sit over there and get into it with people. So
because they're the grapplers, that's why.
Yeah. So I've got some context with this. At this point in time, the grapplers had called Rob a cuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that upset Rob, and it upset Rob's wife. So to dispel that rumor, Rob chose to sit back and watch while his partner went in and got fucked by the grapplers.
Yeah,
so he dispelled that cuck rumor very, very well.
I think Martin called me a cuck once, and I mentioned it to my wife, and she just laughed. What is? I don't think he knows what cuck is.
No.
we were supposed to tape with Mike on Friday. We were going to moderate it. Mike was going to moderate it and go through the whole thing, but Mike got sick and had to cancel it. So it didn't end up going through. So when we tape this episode, you'll hear Rob and I referencing many times that the only reason that this is playing is because these guys wouldn't stop. They wouldn't be respectful. And at the Midnight Mike show, everything went off and didn't go off the way that we wanted it to, which was to just end it and stop this silliness. But because we couldn't do the show, then we didn't get a chance to talk to him. So I didn't get a chance to break it down with him and end this thing. So we were not going to use this footage tonight for the first part of the show if these guys just stopped first.
Why does he keep saying footage? Is he playing a video?
Is this the Ocho doxing episode?
Oh,
I believe that's what this is.
What a fucking...
Yeah.
Off. Second off, if they apologized. And then the third part was just if they just agreed to just move on and end it right then and there. So we didn't get a chance to do the show because Mike was sick. And totally cool. I told Mike, whenever you're feeling better, I would do it anytime. Doesn't matter. I never have a problem sitting over there and talking to anybody in a civil and nice manner and fixing an issue. So I had sent Rob a message last night and said to him, hey, I'm not going to use that footage, man. I'm just going to let stuff go. It's going to just end it, whatever. We didn't get a chance to do the show tonight, so I'm not going to use it tonight. And Rob took the high road, just like I knew he would, because he's a gentleman, and said, hey, that's fine, no problem. As long as these guys stop, we'll just let it go. Well, these idiots don't want to stop. They want to make these stupid videos that they do. They want to consider or keep being disrespectful and saying nasty things and making nasty insinuations. They keep making jabs and digs all week. Now, we haven't responded since the whole thing happened. So Rob and I talked about today, and I said, there's no way in hell I'm letting this shit slide now, man. These guys didn't want to heed my advice to lay off. These guys didn't want to stop. They wanted to be a bunch of immature buffoons. So we decided to roll the footage tonight and give our response to them. Once again, it was taped on Thursday, so this was taped before. And you'll hear us reference the Midnight Mike show and why we kept the taping, but we didn't get a chance to do the show. And the reason that we kept this taping was because these guys just didn't stop and they wanted to keep going. So you want to hear a different side, you want to hear about what real jerks these guys are, and you want to hear really some information about the grapplers that they don't want anybody to know because they're a bunch of chickens. And
chicken? What's wrong, McFly? Chicken?
But, doesn't it really want to make you back somebody up and take their side when they're complaining about mean and nasty things?
Jerks.
Chickens, disrespectful. You sound like a cuck. Yeah. I would take the other guy's side because you sound like the weaker party.
But and also, I personally haven't experienced it yet with my podcast because not many people listen to it. But I haven't really experienced haters. But at the same time, what's the point if you're trying to get an audience? What's the point in addressing haters?
I actually told the Keep It 100 guys, I ain't doing this anymore. I see the comments and. I actually was going to leave this as a flat out, you don't respect me, I don't respect you. That's it. That's the end of the situation. That's fine. But the fact is that I got to come on here every single week. And the narrative has become with people coming in here to see the comments, which is stupid and disrespectful, because especially when you have particular comments in there where it says the show starts here at this minute. Now, they particularly annoy me because it ruins our plugs and it's disrespectful to us.
If your audience doesn't know who these people are, then why expose them to your audience? You know, like you're just helping people dislike you as well. You know, like it's really bizarre that you just want to keep getting involved in this drama. But anyway,
another piece of advice I gave around this time was don't engage. Don't get in it. These guys will shred you. Don't get involved with this. These guys are ruthless, man. And I didn't even know them really. Mike, where were you at in this whole? Do you even remember this?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you knew who John was already by then?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to this day, I don't know who Grappler 6 and 7 are. And I'm glad I don't, because it would ruin it if I knew who they were. Like they ruined Ocho for me. Not that, I don't like him, but when they doxed him and they put pictures out of him and, told what his job was and where he lives and everything, like that kind of ruined it for me, the mystery. So
that's such a slimy part of the internet too. Like it's like my rules are, and I've broken this rule, so I'll admit that, but my rules are mostly don't make fun of anybody's family or wife and don't look up their fucking information. Stop it.
Yeah.
Well, at this time I was still just Fat Coon, and one thing I will say about that, when I first created the Fat Coon account, I said to myself, are you willing for people to find out that this is you? And I went, yeah, fuck it, because I think I'm funny. And so, and I was always willing to reveal. But I agree with what you're saying. Like, Fat Coon's less fun now that everyone knows who Fat Coon is. Fat Coon was more fun back then. The Grapplers, I'm with you, Mike. I don't know who 6 or 7 is. I've been on the Grappler Gazette that they do occasionally here and there. And I like those guys. I'm friendly with those guys, but I don't know who they are. I've never seen them without their mask on. It kind of kills the buzz a little bit, kills the fun.
There and ever call anybody out to their face or with their face showing and just divulging their normal self. These guys go off on people all the time. They've taken it to an extreme with others. They did it with Rob, and they do it because they hide behind a mask. They don't want to give their true identities because they're just a bunch of damn chicken shits, and they act like a bunch of pansies, and they're just completely offline, off kilter, and
offline.
Unfortunately in life, fellas, when you do something like that to people and you act a certain way, and if you don't think a response is going to come, you're absolutely wrong. So here's your response tonight, guys, and I hope you enjoy the last of your gimmick, because I think a couple of you are going to be stopping it right after this episode tonight. So hopefully you guys grow up and move your asses on in life and really start being real men and stop being the biggest bunch of babies and jerks that you guys are to people and bullies to everybody. So, with that said, just wanted to preface this before I roll the interview out in this first segment.
Shout out to John. He used the word preface correctly, Rue. The word is preface. John said it correctly.
What did Rue say? Preface?
Preface.
He prefaced it, yeah.
Here and stick around for afterwards, because we got some great talk that isn't related to these guys at all. It's related to what we do on this show, and it's talking about wrestling, having fun, and giving an entertaining product for the thousands of people that listen to every episode. So just want.
Come on, John.
But even with that, let's accept that thousands of people listen to this episode. They don't know who these guys are. So why are you telling them about some beef that you've got? Yeah. Just do your fun topics.
The only ones that ever wanted to hear about beefs or would play episodes specifically for that is like this little click. Like if Husey ever put out a specific segment about Wangland, we'd probably listen. John and Christopher would probably listen. Rob would probably listen. And that it was the same way going both ways. It wasn't adding any listeners. It was adding 7 people and subtracting, 90.
Yeah.
I used to encourage John. I used to egg him on, John and Rob, because I used to love it. I used to love sitting back listening to these 2 idiots going off at you guys and blah, blah, blah. Like it was entertaining for how insane it is, like. Yeah.
And there's a lot of verbatim shit in here that he said about us. They don't face anyone, go face to face. They're jerks. They're hateful things. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same shit.
Face to face here, man.
wanted to give this information out there to everybody once again, preface it, because you'll hear it mentioned a couple times with those things that when I referenced the show, Mike's show there, and unfortunately we didn't get a chance to get that done last night, so that's why you'll hear that. And the only reason we're rolling this out is because these guys just didn't want to stop, and they wanted to keep poking the bear, man. They wanted to keep pissing gasoline on the fire. So you piss gas.
Whoa. Just want to point out, we know what everyone thinks about Wangland. Poking the bear. Rob?
Oh.
Who's the bear? No, nothing?
I got you. I got you.
Gasoline on the fire enough, guys. So here you go. Here's your response. You wanted it. You got it. You want to keep playing the games. Every bully has their moment, man. And this is your moment here, right here, for one of you, especially. And for the rest of you, move on, grow up, stop.
I don't know if he planned it, but the music's getting really fucking emotional right here. So if he planned it out that way, good job, John.
That's his best piece of production ever.
Doing his dumbass gimmick, because that's exactly what it is. It's a flat, stale, and dumb gimmick. And just want to throw that out there once again, everybody. Hope you enjoy the show, and we will catch you back again later on this week. So enjoy the show. It's a good one.
So then, Dean, that's when they doxed Ocho?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
100%. Yeah.
What a piece of gold.
That sucks,
man. And they were very cocky about it.
Yeah. Did they ever...
can you believe it? This guy's a doctor.
Yeah.
What a fucking loser, man.
Registered Republican. Oh, boy.
Did they ever dox Six? They said they knew... They insinuated they knew somebody else in the Grapplers, but did they ever come out with that?
I'm not sure, but I believe Rob knows what 6 and 7 look like. And he's told me that 6 is very attractive. So shout out 6.
You handsome devil.
For being attractive. Yeah.
Well, they're both in physical, in decent shape. We've seen them wrestle in the ring, so they're both
they can
athletic.
Work.
They're athletic guys that can work wrestling.
They've got those lava rocks, which I just think is tremendous comedy.
All right, so that's the end of that clip. This one, I don't know what this. I didn't put the titles on here, so we're just gonna.
So how long was that last clip, by the way, Mike?
It was about 6:16. And I did not edit that. That's 6:16 straight.
The amount of times, shout out Midnight Mike, because he did get a lot of plugs in that. But he kept repeating the Midnight Mike show, and Midnight Mike was sick, and just that 6:16 or whatever, it could have been a minute.
Yeah,
probably at best. Yeah.
I love Stephen Amell, man. I do.
Is so good.
I'm hoping to have him on the show over the next couple months, because they had told me, his agent had told me, that they would do everything they could to try to get him on the show sometime in May or early part of June once they wrap their commitments up with the show.
Right. Yeah.
It only took me emailing him every week for about 6 months to finally get a reply there. So I was intent on it. At least I just love the guy. He's a cool dude, man. I loved him at All In last year.
Oh yeah, and he's a huge wrestling fan. So
big time, man. He did a great match with Daniels, actually.
So if anyone doesn't know who Stephen Amell is, he's an actor. He was Arrow in the DC show about Green Arrow called Arrow, and then he was in a SummerSlam match against Cody, right?
Yeah, and he's the lead actor in Heels now.
Yes, yeah. And then he was at All In against Christopher Daniels.
Wasn't he in Ninja Warrior or whatever that show is as well?
Could be.
Pretty sure he kicked ass on that show.
So great. He's a great guy, and John actually thought he was
a great good friend of the show.
Yeah, come on.
If you were to give a percentage chance of what percent chance he had to have Stephen Amell on the show, would you just automatically give that a 0?
Yeah.
0% chance.
Yeah.
Don't tease what you can't deliver.
Yep, he did. He's very good. He's very athletic, man. He could be on American Ninja Warrior too, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
he could be on there, Dean.
He could be. All right. Maybe I've heard this before. That's why I heard it.
Good guy, man. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you that, man.
So, I know he's mentioned Stephen Amell before, right? Because it's been brought up on Get My Go.
He's brought it. I remember, and I'm probably only about 3 feet from where I used to sit when doing podcasts with John, and I remember him talking to me about Stephen Amell while sitting in this back shed.
Stephen Amell did Celebrity Ninja Warrior Red Nose Day special.
So I was right.
He loves that stuff. He's taught me so much about like comics and stuff because he's a big comic guy.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, me and him could have like conversations for hours on comics and stuff.
Yeah, I was never a comic book nerd. Like I love superheroes. Like Superman for me as a kid because obviously it's like the original and it's the longest running one. Like I was a huge Christopher Reeves fan from the original movies and all that. I don't know if you were growing up, but
I wasn't. I don't like Superman that much actually.
Really, you don't? Are you?
No, I don't. You know who my favorite is?
Who?
The Punisher.
Really?
I have the Punisher tattooed on my chest.
I didn't know that.
Do you know what? I've got that clipped. I've got that clipped in my phone. He's got the Punisher tattoo on his chest. Do you know how much it must have broken his heart when that became a right-wing symbol?
Yep.
And he's got it tattooed on his chest, this liberal bitch.
Are there any pictures of that anywhere?
Sure,
John. Oh God.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, no, I do have that on my phone. That's clipped on my phone. Him talking about having the Punisher logo on his chest.
Where do you think it is? Do you think it's on the on the left breast?
I think it's a big one.
Over his heart.
In the middle.
I think it's a big one.
Oh, you're thinking like Brock Lesnar's dick tattoo?
Yep. I think it's up. I think it's all up here. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just the skull, or is it the skull with the star like he has on his original
the
logo?
Full the reality logo, yeah. Do you think when the guy goes, "Where do you want it?" I'll put it on the Punisher.
Just put it on my chest.
I mean, I haven't seen you naked before.
No,
or yet.
Nope.
So.
It was actually a nickname that I got in the military too.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. But it makes sense knowing you how I know you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the Army. What was he? What branch was he in? The Army?
No, he was in the Air Force.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm sure he was surrounded by like a bunch of macho, like fucking warriors.
Hey, Punisher.
If they called him the Punisher, I guarantee it was sarcastically.
Yeah.
Like how they used to call Martin Bo Jackson or Barry Bonds. Yeah, it's sarcastically. John, if they called you the Punisher, they were joking, my friend.
They were making fun of you, dude.
Could it be related to his anus?
The anal Punisher.
That doesn't make sense.
That was like they would joke with me about that. They would always call me a bunch of my buddies at my last duty station would do that all the time. They call me the Punisher, man. And a couple people that deployed me, they kind of stuck with me for a little bit. They call me that or Wang. Wangland, it's always the name that you get there. So I never knew my first name forever because I was always, they always call me one or the other. They're usually depending upon the place. But yeah, Punisher was my favorite.
I love the movie. I didn't really get into the series.
Wang the Punisher.
That's the thing. He's conflated something here. He was Wang Punisher. That was his. And he thought that was two separate nicknames. No, he was Wang Punisher.
Oh, brutal, John. Brutal.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the series. I only watched the movie that came out. Yeah.
You won't be, it's very, very violent.
It upsets me that John's into the Punisher because he does seem like the coolest.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fucking military guy he had his fucking family killed in front of him and now he's pissed off. That is a cool character.
Yeah.
He just wants to fucking blow motherfuckers' heads off. That's great.
So many.
We going unedited on this because this is a 33-minute episode.
Well, it's okay. Short episodes are good too.
We done?
Yeah, we are. That was it.
You got a couple of randoms to fill it out or no? I'm having too much fun. I don't want to leave.
Okay. This one is just a random clip I had in my to-do file.
We'll probably get both episodes and do a double treat next week for the Nitro series. But we got to break it up there because unfortunately we have jobs, we have lives, and we can't stream all the time like that. So we have to kind of do it there. And 3 hours on one stream is just a little touch much for me. So yeah, it's just a little touch much on that. So we like to break it up in parts and keep it around there. But until the next time, we hope you guys enjoyed it, had some fun with us here tonight.
It's just a touch much.
Little touch much.
I never heard that before.
Can you realize
sitting there like this?
Yeah.
Are you fucking Dr. Evil? Jesus.
There's a great AC/DC song called Touch Too Much. I'm sure John Paz knows that and Husey.
Yeah.
But I've never heard Touch Much.
Yeah. I hope that John watches the last one and then this one and kind of finally recognizes how this downward slope has gone and just realize that he's at the bottom now and just give up. That's probably, I mean, he's never going to, just despite us, but I mean, take a listen, if you will, to the difference between what he was trying to accomplish in the beginning to this throwaway waste of time that he does now. You know, it's sad. I'm getting a little emotional.
It's crazy to think, like I was telling you guys before, like I went back through the back catalog and listened to an episode I was on over 2 years ago now. And it's crazy to think 2 years ago I was podcasting with Wangland and Rob, and it's
Get My Go.
Everything that's transpired with Get My Go and just watching the way the way John has continued to just lose people and then just, I guess, grab that last branch before he hits the floor. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
I don't think they'll ever stop. I really don't. I think they just enjoy the two of them getting together, or if it's Richie and John, I think they just really enjoy getting together on a call at 3 a.m. You know, the wife and the kids are asleep. You know, they can sit back and just watch wrestling together and bond like two grown men.
I kind of understand that, but not for no reason. Like, Paz and I are going to start a watch along podcast. I don't know. Am I breaking news here?
Yes. Watching what?
We're going to start a watch along podcast in January. And what we're going to do is we're going to start the first Nitro after Bischoff was fired and take a look at that last year and a half at WCW and what was going on and all that, and do watch alongs and put the video on Patreon and stuff like that. And it might do good, it might not, whatever. But the reason I'm saying I understand is, like, I want to watch wrestling. I want to watch some wrestling. And then, like, because I was constantly bothering Mike and Husey for a TNA watch along for a while. I want to see shit I haven't seen. And because I can't stand WWE right now, but I still want to watch something. So I think Paz and I will have a good time with that show. But I understand but I also don't understand.
It kind of hurt my heart a little bit as you're saying that, Mike, because you're like, yeah, they want to watch their wrestling at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just glanced down at the clock. It's 2:30 in the morning and I'm watching shitty podcasts and talking about it with my mates. But, you know, whatever. I'm not a hypocrite.
Hey, John, if you guys want to do that, that's fine. I don't care that you do that. Just don't pretend that you have thousands of listeners and viewers. I mean, Martin can't get it out of his mind that, you know, oh, we had 950 viewers in the last video. No, you didn't. You really didn't. You didn't. You had 3 or 4, and all the people that commented, the Michael Lovings and the whoever else, that's your audience right there. Nobody else. You may have had people scroll and see it for a second, but nobody sat there and watched even 1 minute of it, Christopher. Come on.
Maybe you need to do a Get My Go live on Facebook and then share it in 600 Facebook groups and just see what the view count is.
Yeah, and you can see how many groups that John shares it in. He's sharing it in no less than 75 different wrestling groups. Why are there that many wrestling groups? I don't know, but there are. Many. Yeah. There's so many. So I mean,
and if you go over to Baptized Fire, where that doesn't get shared in 50 wrestling groups, it's got 13 views or 18 views or whatever. You know, like it. Yeah.
And that's, you know, Martin has like maybe let's say 500 Facebook friends. If any of them are scrolling through Facebook and they see Baptized Fire and they look at it for 2 seconds, that counts as a view. So again, nobody's watching this stuff, man. I'm sorry.
But everyone DMs them as well. It's private message.
Yeah.
You know?
No public support whatsoever.
Yeah. Nothing publicly. It's all private. Other than, like you said, the couple of guys, Daniel Woodruff, Michael Loving, Michael Keaton.
Yep.
Yeah, those few guys comment on their pages, but there's nothing publicly. It's all, but the Renegades have been messaging us privately.
Did Jeff Yapunsich finally give up?
I haven't seen him comment for a while.
He wants to get together in Philly for Expo Lucha. Like, he wants to get My Go together.
I may be there for that.
He's like, we got to get Dean. He's like, I'll fly Dean over from Australia. Swear to God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hope you enjoyed this short episode. The last one was kind of long. This one was much shorter and more digestible. But still, thank you again, Matt Wilson. If you have any more clips you want to share with us, Matt, send them. Because
find us the one where he turns on Spreaker like 3 weeks after his public, enunciation of Spreaker is the greatest provider out there, man.
Pretty sure I've heard it.
Well, everybody, check out manscaped.com. Dean has his noose. Speaking of nooses,
it's been a while.
Who was it? Husey mentioned that we should watch a Jussie Smollett interview. That'd be kind of interesting to do.
Yeah, I love that. That my noose triggered that thought.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he was wearing his noose when the cops came into the apartment like 4 hours later.
Yeah,
he
and you were right, Mike. That was my first appearance on the Mike Durbin show because I was so hell bent on exposing this damn fool. And
I knew right when I heard it that day that it came out. I was like, dude, I used to live on that block. There's no white supremacists with red hats running around at 3 a.m. on a sub-zero day. It's just it doesn't happen. Nobody's walking around.
What a lucky break it was for them, huh?
The Dave Chappelle bit where he's like, black people are like, no, we're not touching this. Like they knew he was lying, but yeah.
Check out manscaped.com. GMG is the code. You save 20% off. They have so many great products to trim your body hair. And Joe loves that ball toner. He loves it. Crop Reviver.
My wife loves it more.
Yeah.
I like their cologne too. Their cologne's excellent.
Check out youtube.com/Mike Durband, youtube.com/GetMyGo, at Mike Durband on Twitter, at GetMyGo Show on Twitter. Joe, Raven Effect on Monday. Go ahead.
Raven Effect on Monday. K100 speaks on Sunday. What the fuck? K100 talks on Sunday. K100 rehash on Wednesday. And the main show on Friday. We recently had Governor Jesse Ventura on the show. That clip just came out on YouTube as well. And, of course, you can always check out the Wrestling Informer with Bill Body and the Master Public Minute with Kevin Kleinrock, our normal segments on there, plus show reviews and the mailbag and Disco yelling at me for trying to explain an ad to Conan and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
I knew I had to leave that in, Mike. I was like, I have to leave this part in.
Yeah. If you do check out Wrestling Informer featuring Billy Body, please, whatever you do not put anything negative in the comments because it just wouldn't be right. So I strongly discourage anyone from even thinking about putting a negative comment on. Billy's a very sensitive gentleman. His son may see it. We wouldn't want that to happen. So
please refrain from saying any nasty things.
Yes, only positive things.
Chickens.
His little cunt son might say it.
All right, let's. I don't want to be on the screen when that.
All right, Dean.
Enough problems.
Tell us about Mallertown, Dean.
Yeah, check us out, Mallertown. Don't fucking troll us. No, Mallertown is my podcast. Yeah, check it out. Whatever, I don't care. On Twitter, I'm at that Sassy guy. I just mentioned that Aussie guy. I put it as where they actually be.
Yes, thank you. All right, t-shirts available at prowrestlingtees.com/getmygo. No, wrong. prowrestlingtees.com/Mike Durband. That's where you can get a Get My Go shirt. Thank you. Thank you again, Matt Wilson. Hold on. What's Matt Wilson's Twitter?
At Matthew_Wilson.
That's it. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks,
Thank you,
brother.
And to all the other great, good listeners out there on the riding the wave there.
Yes.
Woo.
Man.
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
Woo. When you say I'm coming down, better run for cover. Man, you don't need a weekend longer. That's right. Oh, yeah. American male.